Hey you guys, today I'm going to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 8, Episode 17, the finale. I'm recording on a new camera right now, so I hope everything works out. Anyway, it starts off with Phaedra at home. She's getting the house cleaned, I guess, and she calls Dwight. Dwight calls her, whatever. And she tells him how she wants to have this party. She says she wants to have a holiday party, a winter wonderland / fabulous freaky Phaedra. I said, huh? I don't. Oh, but we'll get to that. Remember, she said that's what it's called. So she said it was all about new beginnings, starting over since she filed her divorce. And I'm sitting there like, you filed, but he didn't sign. So I'm just saying. Anyway, Portia comes over and they're talking. And as they're talking, it's kind of going back and forth between Phaedra and Portia and Candy and Todd. Candy and Todd is on their way to the cemetery to go see his mom's grave and talk to his mom and let her know it's a boy and stuff like that. Candy is like got 5.5 more weeks to go with her pregnancy. So that was cool. It was funny how they, just was playing and how she was talking about how she wanted a boob job, get her titties back perky, all that kind of stuff. They also talked about Mama Joyce being back cool with Todd, and now that Mama Joyce called the baby Bridge because it's bridging both of the families together. I said, okay, I'm glad that they starting to finally get along. I still side-eye Mama Joyce. I still wouldn't drop the ball just yet, Todd. Like, don't drop your guard because we just never know with Mama Joyce. But anyway, so Phaedra is telling Portia about the party or whatever, and Portia always down for a good party. And then Phaedra said that she wanted to be to have a dance there, do a dance, and she wanted clogging. And Portia was like, black people clog? I'm like, be quiet. Just be fucking quiet, Portia, because I feel like she just says the dumbest shit. Yes, black people clog, dumbass. Might not be in your neck of the hood, but black people clog. I don't, but I know they do. She also said how she's been having Chris help her dance. Excuse me. She said how she been having Chris help her do a dance number. So I'm like, here we go. Let me drink. Hold on, y'all. The bitch was about to go crazy. I had to take something to drink. Anyway, so I was just like, here we go with this Chris dancing, and Portia was steady shading Chris. They both were steady, like, kind of shading Chris or whatever about being feminine or whatever. And I'm like, but y'all the one threw Kenya under the bus. Y'all the one was basically throwing Kenya under the bus, saying how wrong she was and out of line she was. But y'all steady saying little shit about this girl's husband. Like I said, I hope all that shit come up on the reunion, so Kenya don't look like the only one that was the bad person. Anyway, moving on from that, like I said, they went to go talk to Mama Sharon. It was just so hard to see that. It was so hard to see them at that cemetery talking to Mama Sharon. And they say how they're going to give the baby her last name. And I thought that was cute. Portia brings up the story to Phaedra about, she was like, well, she on Dish Nation, and they get all the hot topics. So it was a topic about the feds going to Candy's house, or whatever. And I don't want to blame Phaedra. I just side-eye Phaedra when it comes to this, because it's just little slick shit she says when it comes to the feds and going to Candy's house and stuff like that. It's just little sick shit she say. And then she gonna say, well, I hope Todd taking it serious. Feds making, and then they were talking about the feds making house calls and all this kind of stuff. And I'm sitting there like, what do you mean you hope Todd taking it serious? Why wouldn't he? If the police show up at your house, would you? Well, apparently she didn't take it serious. I don't know. But they also talked about, Portia says that she tells Phaedra that Peter and Cynthia also had some of Ty's stuff. And Phaedra kind of looked a little shocked or whatever. But I'm like, and then she's going to say, well, you know, he was with him more than he was with at home. I mean, just, I'm like, really, girl? Shut up. Then going to say, you know, they were bosom buddies, and I'm like, you only saying that because people been making comments about Peter and Apollo being close. That's the only reason why you say that, because if y'all were still together, you'll be still defending him. Whatever. Then she gonna say, what will Candy think if I had Ty stuff at my house? I said, this is why people think that you called the feds, dumbass. Why would you even make that kind of comment? You know what I'm saying? This is why I always say she's not really Candy's friend. I'm like, girl, whatever. Kenya and Matt, is at her house. He comes in, he called her boo cakes. I'm like, oh, they cute. I just like them together. You know, at first I was side-eyeing Matt, but I just like them together because, hey, if Kenya like him and he's showing that he like Kenya, I can't be mad at that. So he surprised her with these two doggies that he had bought her a little while ago, but they were too young to come home. So now they were able to come home. She's happy. They showed Velvet, and you know, remember Velvet died, and she really ain't had no dog since then. So she names these dogs King and Twirl. I said, I can see that. That's cute. She talks about how Phaedra invited her to the party, and she lets us know that she grew up Jehovah's Witness, and she wasn't allowed to get gifts and give gifts and stuff like that. So she's not really used to like a holiday party. And I was like, damn. I can see her growing up Jehovah's Witness. I don't know why. I just really can see that because, yeah, okay. I'm not saying nothing about Jehovah's Witness. I just really can see her growing up Jehovah's Witness. Because it just seemed like her parents wouldn't want to give her no gifts anyway. I just feel, I mean, no shade to people. I just think that's really fucked up when kids have to go through that. I used to always talk about my cousins and them and my auntie. I used to tell my mama, don't you let us go over their house around the holidays. Like, because I feel like kids should experience that when they're kids. I feel like once they turn adults, then okay, or teenagers, then okay, you teach them, hey, this is not what we celebrate, this is not what we give. But to take that shit as kids and they see other kids, I'll be like, that is messed up. But to each his own in their religion. They also talked about the feds going to Candy house, and Kenya says that she thinks that Phaedra had something to do with it. I said, Kenya, be quiet. Just be quiet. And I get what she's saying, but just be quiet because they're going to blame you for it. They're going to blame you, and people going to say, oh, Kenya need to keep her mouth closed. And I'm sitting there like, half of you motherfuckers that saying Kenya need to keep her mouth closed is half of you motherfuckers that shared it when it first came up on the blogs. I'm just saying. What else happened? She was talking about them being hood. Matt was like, but you guys are not hood. She was like, well, that's kind of hoodish. You know, if her man is in jail. I said, well, yeah. Because she was like, in the hood, you don't drop a dime. And he was like, but y'all not in the hood. I was like, boy, you knew what she was saying. Shut up. So she was talking about wearing a crazy outfit to Phaedra's party because it's a holiday theme. And so I was like, okay, and Matt was cool with it, and I just said, girl, please don't come with nothing crazy like you did when you had the little ass out and all that kind of shit. Please don't do nothing stupid. So, Cynthia and Mallory, they're moving some stuff up into Cynthia's house. I'm like, what are they doing? And then I'm like, do Mallory live in Atlanta now? Because she wasn't living there. Wasn't her man overseas? I don't know. So they bring her in this massage table because Cynthia has this bright idea to be freaky and get her shit back on track with her husband, and they getting along now and all this kind of stuff. I said, why every season she trying to do something with Peter and it comes off so wrong? And that's just what happened this time. He comes in, he's excited that his girl about to give him a massage or whatever, and he trying to take off all his clothes, and I'm like, Peter, no, I don't care if the camera crew is right there. We is watching this. I don't want to see it. That whole scene was awkward to me. I didn't want to see it. I didn't care about it. Just nasty as fuck. So, And then what made it more awkward, her daughter and her ex was there. I said, bitch, you didn't, when you and homegirl was coming all through the house loud, nobody thought to check and see if Noelle was there. When you changed your clothes to get in the masseuse outfit, nobody thought to see if Noelle was there. What the fuck was Noelle and her daddy all that time? I'm just saying. Did Peter not see nobody when he walked up the stairs? It was just awkward. Did the camera people not know Noelle was still there? I just felt like this was stupid and fake. And I don't know. I didn't want to see her massage his nuts. And it was awkward. She tried to get on that table and put her foot right where his nut. I just was like, this was the dumbest scene. But okay, y'all want to show like y'all getting along. Okay, who cares? Like, you don't even want him. If somebody else want him, they just want him to just get in the blogs because nobody, to each his own. I'm just saying. Portia and her sister goes to the doctor because she wants to have babies. I get irritated because when people see other people pregnant, all of a sudden they want babies. But you don't know what that entails to be saying you want to bring a child into this world and you're not mentally prepared to bring a child into this world. You don't have a man. You don't have a stable relationship. And I understand that she said she just wanted to see if her body was straight and that her and Oliver wasn't on that level yet. But I'm like, okay, and then in a year, I don't even think you would be ready to have this man's baby because you still don't know him. You was married to Cordell for 2 years, and look where that went. Like, don't. Phaedra is not, Phaedra, well, her either. But Portia's not ready to stop being a thought. So why do you want to even put your child through that? Then the doctor is asking, the nurse is asking her these simple, normal questions, and she's telling that they're being too invasive. And I'm like, bitch, these are normal questions that the doctor asks you every time you go. Bitch, you ain't been to the doctor in 4 years? I'm just saying. Because I just felt like she was stupid. They asked her, was she single, married, divorced, whatever, and she said she was widowed. And then she had to think about it, like, oh no, that ain't the right one. I was like, this is why you're not ready for a baby, dumbass. But, yeah, she's not ready for a baby. Anyway, then she didn't know when her last menstrual cycle. I'm like, these are normal questions that they ask you. She said them know she had a miscarriage before, and I'm sitting there like, you saying this is, like, this is new, like, we didn't know this, and she was like, oh my god, like, I don't really want to answer this on camera, like, we already didn't know, like, you said that when you was with Cordell. But then she gonna tell her sister, well, if these fibroids are back, then you gonna have to carry the baby. Her sister was about to be like, bitch, please, but then the doctor came in there. I was like, why would you tell her sister, your sister, she had to carry it for you, and when she's already carrying her baby, bitch, do you think, no. I wish my fucking sister would. I'll punch her in the face. I'm just saying, hell no. But, so the doctor comes in, they talk about her fibroids. She do have fibroids, but she could still have a baby with those fibroids or whatever. So I was like, okay, that's cool, but please wait. Please wait. Phaedra and Dwight, they're getting ready for the party. Who cares? Was it at his salon? I don't know. Whatever. Didn't care. Then you had the party. Phaedra comes in there with her kids, and then she come in there with Miss Juicy from Little Women of Atlanta. Every time I see Miss Juicy, I think about when the other girl threw the water in her face or the drink in her face. I was like, ooh. But, yeah. And so they gonna play the elves or whatever. And, oh my god. So, Phaedra, my thing is, okay, Phaedra, you said that this was a holiday party. You said this was about a fabulous, freaky, something, whatever, Phaedra. Why would you bring your kids? Why would you bring your kids and there's no other kids there? I just had a problem with her bringing her kids, like, to an adult party where it's going to be alcohol served. It's always drama with you bitches. Why would you bring your kids? I just felt like that was weird. But everybody's there. They have carolers outside and stuff like that. Bob is Santa Claus from the South, whatever. Portia comes in there, her and her little raggedy homegirl comes in there with these booty shorts on, and I'm sitting there like, maybe she didn't know no kids was gonna be there. I don't understand. This is why people can't take you serious, Portia. I understand it was a holiday party. I understand it was a party. I understand it was a grown people party. But this is why the world don't take you serious. It really is. I'm not saying nothing was wrong with the outfit because it was a holiday and an adult party. Well, at least I think it was an adult party. But I just felt like you're going to get backlash from this. Just mark my words. Because everybody was dressed normal, and she's always coming to just show off her assets. Bitch, you can put on tights and everybody know you're gonna still have ass. You can put on jeans and people know you're still gonna have ass. Like, okay. Tammy is there. Phaedra called her Thor. I scrolled, but I'm like, why is she there? Phaedra says she likes her and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, bitch, why is she there? Nene arrived. She shaved the white nose, and I'm like, bitch, you talking about he could breathe now. Bitch, did you see yours? Did you see your nose, Nene, before you talk about anybody else? I'm just saying. She walks up to the ladies, and Kim, I'm tired of this facade with Kim. I'm tired of her acting like she goody two-shoe, don't know nothing, didn't know how to say Moscato. Bitch, please, you know you used to get drunk. I'm not with that shit. I just don't like her. Tammy, Sheree, and Bob, they had a little awkward ass moment about him fucking her, and he said he didn't have relationships with that woman. I didn't give a fuck. I really didn't. He kissed her. Oh, that was fucking hilarious when Tammy told him, don't be looking at me like that with your bad eye. I said, but he do got a bad eye and he ugly. I don't care. Sheree, to each his own. That's all I'm saying. To each his own. Everybody likes something different. But like I said, they did kiss or whatever. I didn't care. Kenya comes in looking like the Grinch. And I knew people was going to say something, but I thought she looked cute. And she went with the holiday theme. And she was covered up. But I know I knew they were going to shade. Kim was shading her, talking about so fitting. I'm like, bitch, just because you look like a basic bitch, don't get mad at her because she knew how to rock the damn thing. I mean, come on. Like, they said it was a holiday party. You can wear a costume. She was covered up. Good enough for me. Peter and Todd, they're over there talking about Phaedra ass still didn't pay him his money, but he said he's not gonna trip off of it. But they showed that clip where Phaedra was like, I'm gonna have your money tomorrow or some next week or whatever, but the bitch still ain't paid him his money, so I can't wait to see that come up at the reunion. Because I'm like, bitch, what's gonna be her excuse now? Because she said she owed him some money. She said she didn't owe him as much as he thought, but then she said when they met up, she said she was gonna pay him. Why you still ain't paid him, Phaedra? What is her excuse that she ain't paid him but she could throw a party? People gonna stop giving this bitch excuses. Nene goes and talks to Candy about Jamaica and she wish she was there with her lying ass. And then, they both just say they're in a better place and they cool and they gonna start over. It really wasn't that serious. They just wanted water, and I'm like, whatever, I don't care. Kim and Phaedra, they're talking about Chris dancing, and then Kim tells her how she is so happy for her and how if she needs them, that she will be there for them because Phaedra was there for her or whatever on them trips and all that kind of stuff. And I said, watch when you watch your back. I wonder would you still feel like that? Because the bitch show was shading your husband. Kenya brings up the feds, and I said, why? Why? It wasn't a time or a place. Candy was already feeling some kind of way over there in the corner about the whole situation. And I'm sitting there like, well, why you at the party? I'm just not going to be at somebody's party if I think they called the feds to my motherfucking house. Bitch, we're going to talk about this as soon as the party start, or I'm not going to be there. But she wasn't over there when Kenya brought it up. But I just still felt like, Kenya, stop bringing stuff up because they're going to blame you. That's all I'm saying. No, don't act like everybody ain't talking about it. But they gonna blame you for bringing the shit up. Cynthia said how they came to her house also. So Nene brings up the feds to Candy. Everybody talking about the goddamn feds at this stupid ass party like they ain't got nothing else to do. Nobody want to dance. See, this is that shit I don't like. I'm not going to nobody's fucking party to sit down the whole goddamn time. No, that shit, like, what kind of party is this? And then the only people who dance is Phaedra and Chris, and everybody just standing there like, no. Boring ass parties. Must be rich people shit. Cause my family, we getting down. I'm just saying, the whole time. But Candy was saying how they came to her house. She was getting some baby stuff delivered, and they blocked the truck because they thought that she was trying to sneak some shit out. But she did say on Watch What Happened Live that they only took a bike and a 4-wheeler or something, and she thought that Phaedra did call on her because of the timeline that it happened. So I was like, she did. She called, because why they go to Cynthia's house. But then when the ladies was talking about it, Phaedra walks up like, what y'all talking about? Kenya was like, the feds. I was like, ooh. So then she was talking about she was like, oh yeah. But when Cynthia brought up on like, yeah, they came to my house too, that bitch walked away. And so Cynthia felt some kind of way about that, and I did too. Then they had the dance soul scene with Chris and Phaedra, and that was the end of it. And then they start talking about what everybody doing, and I don't care, because whatever. That's my review for The Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 8, Episode 17, Season Finale. Y'all tell me what y'all thought. It really wasn't much to this season finale. I guess everybody gets along into the reunion. I don't know. But I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Tell me what y'all think. Don't forget to get your It's All About support shirts. I got 3 different colors on teespring.com. You can just search It's All About support, or search The Ghetto View at teespring.com. I will leave the link in the description box, so you can just click on. I put the shirts at $17 because you have to pay for the shipping. So it will still kind of add up to $20. And then the blue shirts are $15 because it doesn't have the website on the back. It just have the THA, not THE on the back. But please support your girl, because it's not just about supporting me. It's about showing other people that you are about support and not hate. So, yeah. Get those shirts, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace out. Oh, and if you need any more information about the shirts, hit me up at thaghettoview@gmail.com. All right, peace.